Coming next, First Division special featuring Liverpool against Everton and Manchester United versus Manchester City. And now Granada, First Division special and a Northwest Derby Day.
For football fans in the Northwest, a position of privilege today. At Anfield, Everton's challenge to Championship favourites Liverpool. At Old Trafford, Manchester United and Manchester City competing not just for local prestige, but for points to stay in the First Division. Huge significance in their 100th league meeting. Last September at Goodison Park, Liverpool put on a lavish display in this season's first Merseyside derby. Everton fell victims again to their usual executioner. Here's Barnes. Snowden's got a problem again. The cover is arriving, but not quickly enough. Who's there? You've guessed, Ian Rush. Beardsley. Rush again, surely not. It's Rush. It's unbelievable. The same day at Main Road, Manchester United were in disarray, humiliated by Manchester City.
Bishop again. Great ball for David White from Ian Bishop. Early cross, chance at the far post. That's just marvellous stuff. It's a dream day for Manchester City.
A 5-1 defeat, more frowns on the face of Alex Ferguson. There hasn't been too much to smile about since. Manchester City now under Howard Kendall's control. New management, a reshaped team, half of the side that thrashed United have gone. Rarely have both Manchester clubs faced relegation, but that the central theme today. It's a different story on Merseyside, where Kenny Dalglish has his eyes on the Championship. Liverpool's form is flourishing, and Colin Harvey's Everton are unbeaten in 7 matches in the new year. Liverpool hold an 11-point lead over their neighbours, but it's the proximity of Aston Villa and Arsenal which emphasises their need for victory. So our Barclays First Division special is a double bill of dramatic dimension. Liverpool against Everton, Manchester United against Manchester City. We start at Anfield. Well, Peter Beardsley and John Barnes might have captured the midweek headlines in the FA Cup, but you ignore Ian Rush at your peril once Everton come into his sights. To remind you, the Rush record, 23 goals against the club he used to support. 14 of them past his, at all other times, good friend, Neville Southall, whose anger this week at newspaper speculation about a transfer to Barcelona at least spared him the usual pre-derby questions as to whether he'll stop Rush today. Liverpool make one change from Wednesday's win over Norwich City at left-back, where David Burrows stands in for the injured Steve Staunton. In midfield, you'll find the only locally born player in the side, Steve McMahon, who started, of course, with Everton. Beardsley operating with Rush, a scorer of great goals alongside a great goal-scorer. The cornerstone of Everton's defending, a system of 3 centre-backs, Dave Watson, Kevin Ratcliffe and Martin Keown. Since Norman Whiteside's return on New Year's Day, Everton haven't lost, and their goals certainly coming from midfield at the moment. Pat Nevin is also likely to operate in that area. With Mike Newell dropped to substitute, Graham Sharp is the only recognised striker. The Northwest also provides the referee, Lancaster-based David Allison. As red meets blue, maybe a greenhouse effect with the weather. Pleasant sunshine here, while the south is suffering in rain and snow. Liverpool defend the Kop end. Here's Alan Hansen, a real veteran of these occasions. He always says he hates playing in them, but that never shows. Rush. McMahon trying to bite in. Here's McCall. Pat Nevin only found out at 2 o'clock that he was in the starting lineup for Everton. He wasn't even sure then what role he'd take on, so it'll be interesting to see how Everton settle to a style that they may not have rehearsed. Hussein. Oh, and it's gone through from Whelan to McMahon. And here's Rush. Oh, and Southall has denied him this time. It was a splendid save too. Well, Neville Southall has got something of a new routine now. He comes out on the pitch 2 hours before the kickoff to get himself sharp physically and mentally. He said it's working for him, and this was testimony to that, to deny the old enemy. Barnes. Burrows. A line of Liverpool players on the edge of the area. McMahon. Venison. Returned to him well by Nicol. Oh, Watson can't get there. Barnes does. Liverpool have scored. And Liverpool show that no matter how many defenders you set out to try and stop them, they can find a route through. And after the build-up on the right with Nicol and Venison, Barnes reached a ball played behind the defenders. And although Everton hoped for an offside flag, it wasn't forthcoming because Barnes had timed that run brilliantly. 1-0 Liverpool, 11 minutes gone. His 17th of the season, a most profitable one for him personally. And Everton undone by play of an extremely high quality. The ball very much the target for the tackles. Let's not forget that. Sheedy. There's a little bit of obstruction going on off the ball. The Whiteside objected to. Ratcliffe judged that beautifully. Keown tried to measure the pass to give Nevin some service. Barnes shown the inside route by Snowden. Beardsley, and ball, is that by Watson? Well, certainly the ball came up and hit his hand, and the penalty is given. Everton are a little annoyed because the referee didn't give it straight away. But my impression was that there was very little doubt about it. There, handball by Dave Watson. And look, the referee said play on first of all, but the linesman had other ideas. We're coming up to half an hour gone. And Liverpool here can tighten their grip. Now, Beardsley scored a penalty against Norwich by blasting the ball to the goalkeeper's left. Oh, it goes straight down the middle as Southall went out of the way. 2-0. That was a penalty of some pressure at this stage of a Merseyside derby. Beardsley missed one, I remember, against Everton in his Newcastle days, but he didn't miss here for Liverpool. It's 2-0. Everton collectively shake their heads. Liverpool have had some misadventures from penalties this season, but Beardsley hasn't let them down, and he was up to the task again here. We're going to win the league is being bellowed from the Kop. So 14 for Beardsley, 3 penalties, 3 out of 3. Venison. Ratcliffe. Barnes freed by Beardsley, and the angle and the distance really very promising for Barnes. But perhaps an example there of the difference of derby games. In a week in, week out match, John Barnes might have been just a little bit more relaxed at that chance, but he was certainly tense as he struck the ball. Nevin. Everton badly in need of some trickery from him. Ratcliffe's run outside McDonald. It hit Nicol and sped away. That could have wrong-footed Grobbelaar. Probably did, because McDonald hit the shot with enough venom to suggest to Grobbelaar that he might have had to make a save. Nicol, standing just outside the penalty area, diverted it quite spectacularly. Sheedy's corner. Oh, free header for Watson. Oh, Nevin's hit the bar, and Graham Sharp has headed it in, and Everton are back in it. Oh, and Liverpool will be furious with themselves, because they let Watson have an unmarked header. Nevin should have scored, but Sharp did. This coming right on half-time. (2-1), and what a change to the picture. Liverpool were cruising, and I'm afraid it showed. Barnes. Venison. Well, Graham Sharp has come out of the shadows. Only his 3rd goal of a particularly difficult season for him. A lot of responsibility placed on him today too. Had they gone in 2-0 down, it would have been a very demoralised Everton dressing room. But now they'll be bubbling. They'll see an escape route. So Sharp has his say after Everton were angry at the penalty conceded by Watson, scored by Beardsley, and Liverpool had produced a spellbinding first goal made on the right-hand side with a beautiful interchange of passes and rounded off by John Barnes to set the tone for a very eventful first half. At half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 2, Everton 1. Liverpool still with red faces as well as red shirts. They've certainly given Everton a lifeline after dominating the first half. Here's Venison. The Kop gave Neville Southall a terrific welcome when he came out for the second half. Kop, of course, where Evertonian and Liverpudlian stand side by side. It won't be standing there for that much longer. Quite committed to an all-seater stadium here. They've got a good view of David Burrows now. And of Steve McMahon's shot, which ends in amongst them. Flying off Whiteside. We'll see from here exactly whether it was on target. Well, it was. And Whiteside was aware of that. as he's standing unmarked by the penalty spot. But Liverpool has so often worked the corner short. But Everton have kept players back on both posts. They come off now. It's an interesting way of defending. So often teams push right out at short corners. But Snowden and Sheedy, who were covering Southall on the line, stayed there until they realised that the ball wasn't going to come in at all. McCall. Snowden looks for Sharp coming in. McDonald is there, Sharp. And Venison just gets it out of play. And the Everton fans, who were kept quiet really as they saw their team tumble for much of the first half. Graham Sharp, whose productivity has fallen off this season, but has been stimulated here in a Merseyside derby. And he's brought Everton back in it. Ratcliffe caught out of position by a wayward ball from McDonald, but Keown's pace conspicuous again. It's a particularly useful weapon when you're sprinting against Ian Rush, as Keown was then. Sharp guided down splendidly. McDonald favouring the right foot from left back. Whiteside. Kicked in by McDonald again. It's dropped over Nicol for Sheedy. Oh, and Sharp was homing in. Alan Hansen at full stretch. And Everton really on the move. Tested by Sheedy. Will Liverpool be undermined at another corner kick routine, as they were right at the end of the first half? McDonald's trying to get the better of McMahon. Prevented the goal kick, but Liverpool had the throw. Amongst the worldwide broadcasters, a former Liverpool forward, Michael Robinson, speaking in Spanish to a Spanish television network. Watching this match as absorbed as all of us. It's a crucial stage. McCall. Oh, and Whiteside with Hussein blocking in the nick of time for Liverpool, who was straining again. Oh, Grobbelaar made an athletic catch. Nevin. McCall harassing Burrows, making sure there was no simple way out. There was no way out at all. Nevin crosses. Sharp is in! Well, Graham Sharp shortly to complete 10 years with Everton. What a way to meet that landmark if he could have got an equaliser to add to his first half goal. Liverpool's best hope of winning this game, you feel, is to carry the fight to Everton. They haven't looked certain enough in coping at the back. Everything being done at such pace. It's amazing that the passes find their targets at all. But look at that, Snowden to McDonald. And back to Nevin. Making John Barnes do some chasing. McDonald hits it, places it really. As they say in football, he's got very good feet. Neil McDonald, a shorthand description for a natural striker of a football, and that was a very demanding save for Grobbelaar. Sharp through the centre, and Hussein rather laid it on for him. Nicol, happy to get it away and didn't do it very well. Keown, and Everton invigorated now. Sharp, and it's a free kick right on the edge of the Liverpool penalty area as the match reaches its three-quarter point. Surely this season Graham Sharp hasn't played better. And he's earned this free kick, but leaves it to others to execute it. And Kevin Sheedy could be a potent force. And is! Sheedy has only scored twice in Merseyside derbies, both from free kicks, both at Anfield, but both past Mike Hooper. He's yet to beat Grobbelaar. Barnes defended very well, and Rush played a part as well. Liverpool storming out. Pumped back by Ratcliffe. Oh, and Hussein misjudged. Martin Keown is closest to the ball for Everton. And Grobbelaar didn't get a free kick. Liverpool are perhaps going to be very grateful for that, because they're counter-attacking now through Barnes. And who knows what lies at the end of this. It could be Rush. And Southall made sure that it wasn't. It's just the stage where you start to forget about Rush. We haven't seen too much of him, but he is at his most deadly then, really, particularly against opposition called Everton. McCall has been a real hero in Everton's midfield, but it's still going to be defeat for them, despite the vast improvement in the second half, unless Newell. McDonald pumps it in. Grobbelaar loves coming for those, and misjudged. Barnes stood his corner against Snowden with a little bit more weight to throw into that challenge. But Grobbelaar back on his line and debating his judgment there with some of the fans, even though the throw's about to be taken and the ball could be back in his territory at any second. There was a time, maybe in the 70s, when football had something of a stony-faced image. Grobbelaar has played a part in changing that. And certainly 2 to 3 points for a win system as well. There's been very little sourness in this game. It's been magnificent and continues to be. Beardsley. Watson again, that the ball struck. Everton will feel that was the case in the first half, when he was penalised for deliberate handball in the penalty episode. But there wasn't much clamour then. Seven minutes to go. Rush. Oh, Ratcliffe's given the ball back to him. Nicol. Barnes makes his run. It was that infield burst that Barnes has perfected here that threatened Everton again, and the back heel, which was beautiful. Nicol. Scramble behind by Keown. Liverpool looking to end their anxieties, which have been considerable in the second half. Venison. Working it with Nicol again. Oh, Rush! Is it not going to be today for him? He won't mind as long as Liverpool ultimately win. But Southall suddenly became as wide as a barn door then, when it seemed certain that Rush must beat him yet again. Hansen, Snowden. Sheedy has it back. Great courage and character from Everton here. But Barnes doesn't want to just hoof the ball upfield and give it away. That's not the Liverpool way. Burrows to Beardsley. Keeping the ball is the safest policy, especially when you can get as far away from your own goal as possible. And they do keep the ball until Hussein says that was a bit too risky. It's stoppage time. And Everton have given a great account of themselves in the second half. But Grobbelaar waves the ball goodbye as McDonald tried to plant it onto an Everton head. Merseyside derby here that has shown that the game has psychological factors as well as factors of physique and of footballing talent, because Everton were down and out after Peter Beardsley's penalty went in to make it 2-0. John Barnes had got the first, also it seemed, and then Graham Sharp, right on half-time, turned it round to such an extent that Everton stormed out for the second half. And although the goals came in the first period, the match evolved in the second, and what a match it was. But it's ended with Neville Southall a loser, and a double in the league this season for Liverpool over Everton. A final score at Anfield, it's Liverpool 2, Everton 1. You have done the double over them this season, how does that feel?
It feels great, but the thing about it, it won't be worth anything to us if we don't go on and win the league. It's no good us coming second in the league now. That'll mean nothing, beating Everton twice. We'd have preferred Everton to beat us twice as long as we go on and win the league.
Kenny Dalglish did say in the match programme today that he wasn't very happy with the home form. In a sense, has those words been borne out by the way the game went today?
Well, he's right in saying so, because the supporters here have been magnificent most of the season. We haven't been turning in great performances. They know that, but we're still there. We're unbeaten in 14 games now. We played well on Wednesday, I thought, and let's hope we can get our confidence back at home.
Well, Liverpool have now gone 3 points clear of Aston Villa, but they have played 2 more games. Villa's match at Queen's Park Rangers was a victim of the weather, as was Arsenal's away to Charlton, and Southampton at home to Derby. Nottingham Forest did play 3-1 winners over Crystal Palace. They stay 4th. Chelsea lost 3-2 at Coventry. Everton still 7th. After the break, it's the derby where it's make or break at the bottom of the table. Manchester United against Manchester City.
Duxbury. Just look at the way City cut down space superbly. Brightwell! He could have made a name for himself. Ian Brightwell. Here at Old Trafford, the United lineup shows one change from the team which won at Hereford last week. Mickey Phelan returns after injury and takes over in midfield from Paul Ince, who is himself suffering from a hamstring injury. United have failed to win their last 5 games here at Old Trafford. Manchester City also show one change from their usual lineup. Player coach Peter Reid is suspended, and his place in midfield goes to Ian Brightwell. City have not won an away league game this season in 11 attempts. The referee is Mr. Vic Callow from the Midlands. The crowd restricted to 40,000 today. That makes it the smallest attendance at a Manchester derby for 59 years. It's the 112th time these teams have met, the 100th time in the First Division. Manchester City attacking from right to left in this first half, all in blue. Leclerc for Manchester United. Hughes is onside. The Manchester City defence stood and waited for an offside flag that never came as Leclerc threaded the ball through then, and perhaps even Hughes himself thought he might have been in an offside position. Headed on well, but Alistair was there to clear, only as far as Brightwell. And the referee has given a free kick to Manchester City for the challenge by Clayton Blackmore. David White joined by Paul Lake on the edge of the penalty area. Wayne Clark is there as well, and Colin Hendry, who scored a couple of vital goals recently for City. Hendry, in fact, was the target, but it never reached him. One back by Brightwell. Hendry's in there now with Phelan. Now Hinchcliffe. Good play by Duxbury. Wallace for United just kept it in. Pallister under pressure here. Pallister, and that was dangerous, and he could be made to pay. Leighton saves, but wait, White couldn't get it in. Leighton's down injured, and Gary Pallister nearly made a disastrous error. 9 minutes gone, and Pallister simply didn't look when he played the ball back to Leighton. Manchester United are very lucky they didn't concede a goal. Under pressure, admittedly, but the ball was never going to reach Leighton. When it fell loose, Leighton was brave to go in with Clark. The ball spun away. White tried to get it in, and that was a vital challenge by Donaghy. Well, Gary Pallister has settled into some good form lately after his early disappointments, and indeed this looks like it could be problems all round for Manchester United, because although they've got away with not conceding a goal, the stretcher bearers are on, but I think that was a bit of an overreaction by them. This was the challenge by Donaghy that saved the goal and collected the injury. And Donaghy is coming off. Well, that'll cause some reorganisation in the Manchester United team, with a central defender going off and Beardsmore, the midfield player, on. And after all that, City have a corner. Close, Hughes headed it clear. Megson battling away well. Cleared by Martin, only as far as Harper. And now Ward for City. Played in deep towards Megson. Oh, he did well, but he was offside. And in the middle of the field, Mark Hughes went through rather late on Ward as the City man played the ball forward. And we have had a predictably eventful opening here. Manchester United think they're getting a free kick for offside, but in fact the referee, who might need eyes in the back of his head today, had seen Hughes' challenge, and the free kick goes to City. Ward dashing forward. Over the head of White. Martin. Oh, he did well. Beardsmore. Good challenge though. Now Clark for Manchester City. Pallister dispossesses him, and it's frantic and furious in there now, and eventually Pallister comes out with the ball, and that's a great ball by Pallister. Hughes goes down under the challenge, and indeed Manchester United get the free kick. Brightwell's tackle. Martin's free kick was aimed at Hughes, well won by Hendry. Pallister be feeling very anxious after that mistake. He needs to settle quickly. Blackmore now. Leclerc takes over, dispossessed by Megson. But United pinning City into their own half. What a glorious ball too from Hughes to Beardsmore. And still Beardsmore hooked in towards Wallace. Well saved by Dibble. It may have looked routine, but with the ball swerving in the wind and with United players coming at him, he had to be self-confident then. United are really hyped up for this, you can tell. Hinchcliffe with the free kick. Hendry's back header, Leighton thought about it, and Clark gone on the end of the dropping ball, and it's gone off a United player for a corner. Leighton hesitated for a moment, Clark didn't. Megson with the corner kick. It's a good-looking one as well, and a fine header. Just wide. What a good effort that was by Clark. Wayne Clark frustrated as the ball cleared everybody. He moved in just ahead of the defender. It was so close. Stretch leg of Hughes. Hinchcliffe clears it only as far as Anderson though. Duxbury, suddenly a space opened up for him there, but it's a good looking ball and it breaks suddenly for Beardsmore. Good effort. And City just break away from danger at one end. Pallister did well. Anderson, and the pace steps up again now with Duxbury. Beardsmore's there again, well played Beardsmore, but he ran into trouble in the end in the shape of Harper. And Lake, I think, will play it back just to calm things down. It was a good effort by Russell Beardsmore. He found himself in a little bit of space here and hit it first time. Won by White. Blackmore forward. Redmond was there. Now Megson for Hinchcliffe. Duxbury's tackle, and it's a City throw. Clark turned on towards White. Anderson grappling, and the referee decides that it was White who was more the aggressor. Duxbury. Just look at the way City cut down space superbly. Brightwell! He could have made a name for himself. Ian Brightwell, the man replacing the suspended Peter Reid. Credit for the way he won the ball, but I'm afraid not a lot of credit for the way he used it. And the 21-year-old really denied space to Duxbury then. The ball dropped invitingly, but he lobbed it a little bit too accurately, if you like. Or a bit too deliberately would be a better phrase. Phelan, Wallace, and Wallace was fouled. Over 3 minutes of time have been added as Wallace limps away, and United have a free kick. Pallister's gone forward, and so has Anderson. And there is the whistle which brings a very eventful first half to an end. City had the better of the chances. The Wayne Clark header just wide, a lob by Ian Brightwell also just wide, but the talking point of the half came in the 10th minute when Gary Pallister was a very lucky young man not to bring about a City goal. Under pressure from Hinchcliffe, he turned back to Leighton, but didn't really look as he played the ball back towards his own goal. Leighton, to his horror, saw it spinning loose and went in with great commitment as Wayne Clark slid in. The ball breaking away, White tried the shot, Donaghy's tackle saved the goal, but injured him. And the first half ends, Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. Lake, Clark, straight to Duxbury. Anderson. Hughes has made an intelligent run down the right, and he spots him and finds him well. Good play by Hughes. Oh, not a good cross though. Hinchcliffe in his own area, in trouble for a moment. Good pressure by Manchester United. Good spell this. Brightwell gets Anderson's cross away though, but still United press. Martin, what a cool piece of play that was by the youngster. And then Redmond pumps it away, and a great ball too, and White is suddenly all on his own. Has he got a cool head? Not quite cool enough. David White gets the chance of the game, and you have to pay credit to Pallister for racing back and just putting him in two minds. He looked behind him there, look, and Pallister was nowhere at that stage. He hesitated, he looked again, and that was fatal, and that allowed Pallister to make the challenge. Martin, good football, completely fooled Ward, and finds Hughes. And another good ball to McClare. Wallace in space, a lot of players forward here, Manchester United. Blackmore, a lovely goal. And the man who scored the FA Cup winner at Hereford a week ago has given United the lead. The Stretford end delighted. And although Manchester City have had so many opportunities, it's United who put theirs away. Wallace playing the ball into the danger area, and Blackmore reacted quicker than anyone. Frustration for the Manchester City management team. Anderson's header drops to Brightwell. Hinchcliffe back to Redmond. And now United will have a new freedom in their play, I'm sure, with the confidence of that goal. Remember, Manchester United in the midst of their worst run for 18 years, 10 league games without a win. Very, very few goals in that period as well. They failed to win their last 5 games here at Old Trafford. But now they've got their noses in front in the game that perhaps matters more than any other. Pallister with the free kick. Tremendous noise around Old Trafford now. Hughes downward header. Ward is there for City. But it's not over yet, this game, by any means. We've seen how well Manchester City can defend and attack on the break. Now they need to be a little bit more committed to attack. And here's Brightwell. And now Megson. And the ball breaks for Ward. On a good cross. And headed behind by Phelan as the goalkeeper came out to collect. Dangerous cross by Ward. Anderson, Ward is there again. The ball laid back for Brightwell to hit it. Oh, what a great goal by Brightwell! A tremendous goal from the youngster, who's only playing because Peter Reid is suspended. And now the City fans can celebrate. An absolute belter. Laid back to him, left foot all the way, like an arrow into the top corner. A beauty. 1-1. He hit that with total conviction. Phelan. A draw, not a great deal of use to either side in their present position. Good to see them both going for the win. Hughes, challenged by Hinchcliffe. He has not missed a tackle today, Hinchcliffe. Oh, that's a great ball. Duxbury. Blackmore completely miskicked it and charged away. And suddenly, Ward looking dangerous on the left. And still Ward. Now White. Clark on the far post. Oh, if he'd only picked out Wayne Clark, City could have been in front. David White went for goal when there was a man, in my opinion, better placed. Perhaps he was trying to find him, in fairness, but look at Clark's reaction. McClare for Manchester United. Anderson in support on the right. Wallace. Good looking ball, McClare's there! Oh, he actually took it off Hughes' head. Hughes was right behind him, and I think if he'd let it run, Mark Hughes would have been in a better position. But here goes Pallister. Now Blackmore. Redmond with the header. And United came close again. The ball played out to Wallace, and he's created most of the dangerous crosses in this game. Watch McClare, number 9, coming in on the near post. Look, Hughes was so well placed behind him. Robbins. Oops. Well, he was a bit fortunate, but he's making the most of his fortune. That was a good challenge. Alistair. Anderson is forward. McClare for Manchester United. 4 men in the box. Disappointing cross. McClare looked tired as he hit that one in. Now Ward for Manchester City. Phelan has had a really good game at the back for United. This is Pallister. We're now into time being added. Martin didn't really want that ball, did he? Harper there again, but it goes straight to Hughes. Brushed aside by Megson. Dibble launches the kick. Anderson is underneath it. Good header by Blackmore, going in on the other goal scorer, Brightwell. And City will just shepherd it back to their goalkeeper, with Hinchcliffe, one of the game's outstanding players. Phelan's header. Brightwell in there again. Back it comes to Phelan. Now Duxbury. Nobody wants to make a mistake at this juncture of the game, it goes without saying. Anderson forward. Redmond. And Redmond again, under pressure now from McClare. And there's the final whistle, and it ends, appropriately enough, level. And if Manchester is currently a depressed football city, you'd never guess it. Clayton Blackmore gave Manchester United the lead in the second half here. It was a lead that didn't last very long. Ian Brightwell scored a stunning equaliser for Manchester City, but the game was full of passion, commitment, a lot of good football, several chances, most of the best ones to Manchester City. Brightwell missed one before he scored that great equalising goal. A draw, a fair result, and really, on the basis of what we've seen here today, both the Manchester teams surely can look forward to a better ending to the season than the way it has begun for both of them. The final score, Manchester United 1, Manchester City 1.
Well, the prospect's not really that much brighter for Manchester United. They're still 4th from bottom. Manchester City continuing their steady progress under Howard Kendall. Elsewhere, Charlton and Luton didn't play because of the bad weather. Millwall drew 1-1 at Sheffield Wednesday. Crystal Palace, they lost at Nottingham Forest. So our double bill of derby action did live up to its dramatic dimension. United and City equal at Old Trafford. Everton gallant in defeat at Anfield, where Liverpool again had the last laugh.
Well, I mean, like I say, it just came out here and I just wellied it, and it's the best feeling that I've had. Any goal that goes in, it's a great feeling, but to score it in a derby, it's unbelievable.